We're kicking off our high country tour here. We're in Mansfield. We've just met up with Anthony. He runs High Country Adventure Tours. He's going to take us for the week. What can we expect, mate?
Well, mate, we're going to take you guys up to Mount Sterling. We're going to do an epic climb up to 1,750 metres above sea level.
Awesome, yeah.
And then after that, we're going to take you to the iconic Craig's Hut. So
sweet.
It's on everybody's bucket list when they come to the high country, and that's where we're staying tonight.
Unreal. Well, I'm keen as. Check out this big old 60 here. This is unreal. We get to follow this through the high country. Looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah,
cheers for having us.
Okay, cheers.
Been months in the making this trip. Let's go and do it. So we've just hit the dirt for the first time. We're not going to see bitumen for the next 6 days, Anthony reckons. So 22 PSI is his pick for tyre pressures, so we'll drop them all to that. And if we get stuck or we need to go any further, we can go down if we want. But 22 is a good pick. We're all going to let them down now and we'll hit the dirt.
So Beck is starting the first leg of our high country trip. Hey, feeling privileged, babe?
Yeah, I am. Very privileged because I never get to drive.
I know. It's only because I'll be doing most of the camera work that Beck will get to do this. What do you reckon, kids? You pretty pumped?
Yeah!
Where are we, Bart? You got to tell me where we are. Yeah, good stuff. We're just heading up towards Craig's Hut now, which is going to be our first campground, which is going to be spectacular, I reckon. We'll be able to get to see it on sunset.
We're super excited because it's probably one of the most iconic landmarks
in the high country.
Yeah,
that's right.
So we're heaps excited to see it.
And it's been, we kicked off the tour, we met everyone, and then we stopped in and checked out where the actual original homestead was from the man from Snowy River, so that's pretty cool. And then we climbed, didn't we? We went straight up to Mount Sterling, pretty much straight into low range, and climbed up the top of there. It's pretty sensational.
Mount Sterling is so specky. You can just see right over at Mount Buller, and it's just phenomenal views.
It was great.
So this is the famous Craig's Hut from the man from Snowy River. I know I watched it just about every afternoon when I got home from school when I was a young teenager and absolutely bloody loved it. With the ranges in the background, the old hut there, just reminiscing about the movie and watching it. Jim Craig, bloody good. I'll tell you what, if you're up in the high country, you've got to come to Craig's Hut. We're camped seriously like 100 metres down the track. It's just fantastic.
Here.
White night. So the kids are going to have a white bath instead of an actual bath. That's cool. That's what it's all about, camping. The kids are pumped.
Pumped. You don't sound pumped. You sound like you're whinging.
So everyone get a wipe.
You're
wipe
pumped?
Your faces, please. Jack, wipe your face, Billy. Charlie Bear, wipe your face. Wipe your face, please.
Becky Boo, wipe your face. It's the cleanest it's ever been, you grub.
It is actually. Here.
Well, here we are at Loveig's Hut in the high country. The high country's dotted with huts all throughout it, but this one here, it's one of the iconic cattlemen huts. The Loveig family is synonymous with the high country. This was used as a cattleman's muster station back in the day, but this one here is actually a rebuilt version of the original one that got destroyed in the 2006-2007 fires. And as you can look around, it's just a magnificent spot. We've got a big communal fire pit over there, wide open spaces, green grass. It's just absolutely fantastic.
How good are the views on some of these tracks? This is King Billy track. It's just epic. It's hard to stay concentrated on the bloody road because we're constantly looking at the views. It's unreal. Special part of the country, eh?
Just on our left here, guys, we've got one of the oldest snow gum trees in the high country. It's known as the King Billy tree and also the grandfather tree. It's estimated to be around 200 years old, and it's also heritage listed. It's absolutely spectacular. 9 trunks coming off it. It's just awesome.
This is our campground at Wannangatta Station. It's unreal. After 3 hours of low range trekking down into here, we pop out into the old Wannangatta Station area. Big valley, cleared area, heaps of campsites. And then you've got the Wannangatta River that runs along here too. Awesome. We're camped on the riverbed, got a fire going. Everyone else is just up here in the trees. We'll go and check that out in a minute. Just a perfect spot. So we've been sleeping in the Oz tent. It's been bloody good too, and I tell you, the stretchers are gold. The self-inflating mattresses are even better. And these mattresses, or these sleeping bags, sorry, from ARB are like the toastiest, most comfiest things I've ever slept in while I'm camping. So, got double lining inside. You can unzip that if you want. But I tell you what, it's been that bloody cold down here. We've been all snuggled up in these, and we zipped 2 together at the back. We can all 5 of us get in there. It's been unreal.
So the start of day 4, we're just leaving the Wannangatta Station campground and pretty much straight into it. What we crossed about 20 creek crossings. It's all the same creek, but you go through them. It's very pretty. And now we're straight onto the Hearn Spur track, which is apparently one of the steeper climbs in the country. So low range.
I was driving, but as soon as I said steepest climb in the country, I was out.
I was happy to let her go, but she's like, no thanks.
No.
Go. Hearn Spur track. Let's go. Second gear, low range, pinned. Woo! Steep this one. How good is this? Check out the angle on us. Hearn Spur track. This is good fun, mate. Hey? This is some serious low range stuff.
So we've just made it up the top of Hearn Spur track. A couple of the others are having a few mechanical issues down the bottom with overheating, so we're just going to have a bit of lunch up here, but check it out. If we just go back up the hill here, you can see all around you, and I'm dead set, it is spectacular.
One of the best things we reckon about this tour is the fact that you don't have to plan anything. It's so different for us to just come aboard and just like follow along. It's been unreal. So you actually get to enjoy it a bit more because you're not constantly watching the navvy or planning your route because you don't know where you're going. You just jump in line with the rest of the team and just follow along. It's unreal. It's been something that we've sort of wanted to do for a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we just haven't got to it till now. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely the way to experience the high country.
Yeah, it's nice when someone knows where all the hot spots are and all the epic campsites and things. So
That's it. And the history too. There's so much little tips and pointers and cool history and knowledge.
Amazing history around it.
Yeah, of all the huts and stations and homesteads like that you'd sort of miss out on because it's so much research. But these guys just know it like the back of their hand. So High Country Adventure Tours is ticking off a heap, about to say shitload, of bucket list items for us, so good job. So one of the big things that's really dangerous that we've noticed in the high country is other people leaving their campfires going in the morning.
So bad.
Mate, we just put one out there and that's the 5th one on our trip so far that when we've left our camp of a morning, other people have just bailed out, left their fire going, and it's just grubby. It's full of stubbies, rubbish. Like if you can be bothered to bring it in, just take it out with you.
In the middle of a national park, it's heavily treed and people just don't think to put out there.
We've got like 80 km/h winds today. And they just leave the campfire going when they bail out. So anyway, just make sure you put them out and then you won't be getting chased out of here by a bloody bushfire up your ass. So a trip to the high country just wouldn't be complete without a visit to the Dargo pub. So we dropped in there for lunch, had an epic palmy. They are a massive meal, so if you're not a big eater, you can probably share one. And just check out all the memorabilia and stuff hung up on the walls. Iconic part of the Vic High Country, iconic pub in Australia, and a good spot to visit some make sure you don't leave that off your list when you're checking out the Vic High Country. While you're in Dargo checking out the pub, make sure your next stop is the dump just down the road. We've had 4 bags of rubbish to get rid of. You've got to take everything with you while you keep it throughout the high country, so it's a good stop to drop off all your garbage, and then you can keep going and keep it for a few more.
Alright, so we're at the gorgeous free camp called Talbotville. It is absolutely amazing. Green grass, plenty of room for the kids to run around. We've got the river right here. Campfires, it's absolutely magical here. We've used it as a base to explore Dargo and the surrounds. We were going to do Billy Goat Track, but unfortunately we can't get there today due to the weather conditions. It's actually snowing on top of the mountain, so a little bit dangerous for us, but absolutely loving Talbotville.
Shut up and sit down.
What's going on here, Ant?
Yeah, just doing a recovery up Blue Rag, mate. Slippery as all hell coming up here.
So I tell you what, one thing I don't recommend is getting yourself stuck coming up Blue Rag on a day like today. We just spent the last 2 hours winching out of some slippery mud and stuff, and I tell you what, I can't feel my mouth, I can't feel my fingers.
I got to sit here in the warm car with the kids.
I didn't have shoes on for half of it, so I know it's my own fault. Far out. If you can, stick on the rocks. Don't go anywhere near that muddy stuff, because geez, that was a hard work. So we made it to the top of the Blue Rag track. This is the trig at the top. Usually, apparently there's supposed to be 360-degree views here, mate. What's going on?
Mate, normally mounds as far as you can see, all the way around.
And now, it's a pretty slippery climb up here. It made it a bit interesting. And now, dead set, if it doesn't snow in the next 10 minutes, I don't know what's going on, eh?
Oh mate, this is a high country and it's absolute wildness. It's blowing probably about 80, 90 k's an hour up here, and as Justin said, like not far off from snowing one bit.
So we've had the first 3 days of the trip. I can't even keep my eyes open, it's blaring that hard. First 3 days of the trip was like 30-degree weather, absolute mint, clear conditions. We got some great footage. We were hoping it was going to be clear for this trip up here today, but as you can see how wet it is, this is why we couldn't attempt billy goats, eh?
That's it, mate, yeah, it just would have been too dangerous in these conditions, but as Justin said, we've seen the high country at its most diverse. We had epic weather for 4 days, and now it's really turned on us, but the mountains make their own weather up here.
That's it, so we've got to see it in all conditions. Pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to get back in the car before my hands ice up. So one of the good things about travelling with a tour group is you get to see all these different sort of setups that people bring along when they go bush. So
yeah, it's really cool. You know, we get to see how everyone sets up and packs down and where they've got all their stuff stored, and we get a few tips and pointers along the way.
yeah, it's good. So there's people got single swags and stretchers, and there's double swags, Oz tent, like 30-second tents. We've got the Oz tent Oxley. Roof toppers, yeah, so it's good to check everyone's different setups out and how it all works. So that's our week in the high country done with Anthony from High Country Adventure Tours. We've had a great crew on board, great families, great tour guides. We've hit all the hot spots. It's lived up to my expectations, mate. We've hit the tracks were unreal, the campsites were awesome, the huts, which is what I wanted to see, are just sensational. So thanks a lot, mate. Appreciate
no worries,
it.
mate. Well, thanks for coming. It was great to meet you all.
Yeah, no dramas.
Awesome.
And hopefully we can get plenty more families on tours like this, because I tell you what, it was the easiest, most enjoyable trip, because we didn't have to plan, we didn't have to think about it, we just follow this legend and we get to see everything. So look them up, High Country Adventure Tours. We bloody loved it.
Good on you, mate. Cheers.